Hey, James. Just doing some configuration, so just bear with me. Show up a little early for these so that I can get a couple things set up. All right. Test, 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 test. Ah, perfect. Okay. I think I have everything I need. And if I don't, I'll figure that out. All right. We are in the practice server ahead of the races. So normally what I do is before the actual session starts, I have a practice server that runs that people can get some laps in and get ready. Sometimes we have a lot of people and that's where people hang out. Sometimes we don't. So try one thing. Oh, that's good. So I'm not really talking a lot right now because I'm doing a little bit of hardware setup before, and I just like to check a few things. Calibrating pedals, all that other fun stuff. So the way our formats normally work is we have a practice session where I'll go through the driver's briefing and such. The rookies will qualify, they'll do their race. So there won't be a lot of talking from me. And then afterwards, we do a post-race debrief for all the rookies to ask questions about how their race went, things they could do better, things they need to work on. And that's where I spend a lot of my time talking. So if there's someone in the chat and I'm driving and I happen to notice, if there's nothing happening in the race, I'll be social. And the debrief is typically where a lot of more of my stuff happens. I should probably update that in the description. Just thinking about it out loud. But next time. So this is for the North American Sim Racing Series. I've been running this league for about 3 years. I've been coaching in it for about 4 and some change. And one of the things I did when I first started here was I started a rookie series and rookie clinic for new sim racers to get comfortable with sim racing and racing in general, because most of them don't really have a lot of experience with organized racing, organized leagues, racing as a sport, kind of the technique around racing, a lot of the techniques around driving. And so my league helps them where they can learn the driving technique, learn how to race, learn how to be more competitive, understand things technically, and how to drive better. So in our rookie series, it's a limited series with only 4 cars, 2 front engine, 2 mid engine cars, so that they can get used to just driving and being on track. And you don't have a lot of like the BOP challenges that you would traditionally have, or other things like that. And that way, the coaches are driving the same cars that the rookies are. So as one of the lead coaches, I drive with the rookies, and they can get a sense of how fast some of the cars can go. They've got a comparison of a decently competent-ish driver for them to reference with. And that way they don't get stuck in the like, oh, I'm doing 6 seconds off the pace, but I'm winning my field, I must be doing great. And it also helps us pre-qualify some of the people who want to potentially go to our T-Stake split that has our more competitive drivers in it. Because, if they can keep up with me, I typically qualify in the top 10, finish somewhere in the top 6 to 10 if I'm having a really good day on Tuesday. So if they can keep up with me, they can run Tuesday pretty competently. Let's not do that. So like right now I'm just checking in tire pressures, seeing what's running high, just running on race fuel, not necessarily doing a lot. Oh, hey. What's up, Abe? How you doing, homie? It's just my focus face. My focus face is actually my happy face. If I don't have a glare on my face, I'm pretty much in a bad mood. So. Yuck. Yo.
Good evening.
Hello, hello.
Here we are at it again.
All right. How are the kids?
Kids are good. They've been busy with the Easter and all the insanity going on this time of year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. How old are they now?
My son is 11 and my daughter is 7. So
Oh,
they
wow.
both have birthdays too, and it's just the beginning of the year.
Oh, okay. Are they both around the same time, or is there a split?
My son's in February, beginning of February, and my daughter's beginning of April. So
Wow.
It's a 2-month break.
Wow. Well, it's close enough that they get to have their own times. That's nice.
Yeah, we do their separate birthdays, but man, it's such a chore.
Yeah.
I mean, a chore for my wife.
Yeah, I get you.
Ready for the new season?
Yeah, let's do it.
Evan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
Quick question.
Yo.
Is there perchance any time that you intentionally change somebody's car and just see if they don't pay attention?
No.
And then they have to, okay.
No. That would be mean. So we got 6, 7 minutes? Okay. I have enough time to throw a couple laps in. Did you go check your car? Gives you 5 minutes to do it.
I mean, I did, but I can't change it.
What do you mean you can't change it?
You click on cars and then you press on the car you want to change, right?
Did you go to the series, not the event?
Readings.
You don't want to go to Zandvoort. You want to go to the championship as a whole. It's one to many, remember?
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna go double check mine anyway, even though I feel like I've done it
You should.
like 6 times.
You should do that.
You know how many people have double checked to see if they were about to race and then find out they didn't?
Alright.
Oh, yeah.
It's always good to check the car when that was changed, check the car the day after, check the car the day after that, and just keep making sure. Or am I the only one that does that?
You might be the only one, but it's the smart way of doing it.
This is where Davin does a little, where he just like changes it next season, like, oh no, you guys are all in the wrong cars and nobody paid attention.
Nah, y'all do that on your
He
own.
said he's not that,
Yeah.
he's not that
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah, y'all already hurt yourselves. I don't need to hurt you.
Fair.
This looks like it is a small grid comparatively to how it was last season.
Yeah, it's summertime though. Summertime's always slow.
Oh, right, vacation.
Yeah, vacations, holidays.
I wonder what that's like.
Right.
Wait, people get time to take vacation? In this economy?
And I was talking
Yeah,
to my
that's
coworkers, and I literally, usually it's like 80 hours a week, right?
Mhm.
I have literally put about 147 hours.
Wild. Should
in
do
2
less of that.
weeks. I wish. It's the good old Doge, folks.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah, because you work in government. My condolences.
I started thinking like, oh, 80 hours is like what I do now. I heard 100 some hours. Like, what the hell in a week?
No, every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
It feels bad though.
Oh, I do 146 every 2 weeks on average. Well, depends what number we're using. We're using the pay stub number, 146. Using the actual number, about extra 24 hours on there.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Pay stub fucker, he always fucks things up. I almost made a major fucky wucky. I have my 5G internet, which is good for downloads, bad for actual online connections, and I have my normal internet terrible for downloads, but better stable connections, and I almost used my 5G for this. That would have been hilariously bad. Suddenly 400 ping on the grid.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're even gonna have a small field tonight because we haven't. I haven't seen a lot of people practicing ahead of time. So.
That soapbox here. It doesn't matter if you practice or not. You should still get on the purchase. I didn't even get time to practice. I mean, you still have that 30 minutes of practice anyway.
And as rookies, even if you are a bit behind, it's still a good learning experience.
Always.
But people don't understand that. They go into a rookie series and then be like, wait, there's rookies here? Oh no, how horrible.
I'm one of the most seasonal rookies you got.
This is a fact. This is truth and a fact. But we still love you, though.
Right. Basically, the idea is to be on my pace, and then congratulations, you are now qualified.
You just gotta wait till, like, all their retirement happens, and then like, oh hey, look, I'm now at Tuesday pace, everybody else slow down.
But I need to get another wheel. I was talking to somebody about, because the pin keeps unscrewing, so that's why I end up like losing connection to the wheel.
Oh, sure, yeah.
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 Any suggestions? Because this one's a fan attack.
What's your budget?
I'm part of, well, so I should keep a budget because of Doge, but I don't have a budget because of Doge.
Yeah, man.
So it's...
I'm with you. The only reason I bring it up is like, probably some used Mozo equipment would probably get you back to where you need to go. I already had I already had my breakup with Fan Attack, and I'm not going back. So
Allow me to be the devil's advocate and say some magic. Break the bank.
They're good too.
Well, I like to be somewhere local too, so I do have a micro center.
Yeah, that's normally why I suggest Mozo for folks, because there's a micro center they can jump into. Yada yada.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I will take a look. Anything in particular for Mozo, or just
maybe like an
Mozo
R5, R9. You know, if you were getting a new one, I would probably just say if you got a R9, you would just never have to touch it for a long time. You know, but I know they have those 12 Newton meter ones too, but I don't know, man. I've got an R9 and it does the things I need it to do, and I'm race car, please. So.
Oh, it's only $400. That's cheap.
Yep.
Is it still mountable like the Fan Attacks?
Yep. Yep. Mounts in the exact same holes. Mounts the exact same way.
What about the wheel base? Does it have like a quick release, or how?
Yeah, it's got an NRG style quick release, so it actually can mount more wheels. You don't have to run like a special Fan Attack adapter on the other side. Actually, I took some wheels out of my race car sometimes for fun and just to do some shit with it. Because I got that.
Wait. You could take your wheels off your.
Yeah, because it's got the NRG style ball bearing release on the side of it. So like I can pull.
NRG is like the industry standard.
Yeah, so I can pull things out of my Civic and just pop it on there.
Or I mean racing.
Junkyard is an idea, and I can look at all the crashed cars that are there and probably pull one.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a crashed drift car or a bunch of broken tuner cars, or hell yeah. Probably honestly, Facebook Marketplace probably just has people selling, parting out this, parting out that, just sitting there.
Thanks. That gives me a great idea. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
You know what made me really mad about the parting out? So somebody listed a 2008 Honda Civic Si, and I'm like, oh great, this could be a great car, amazing price. Nothing in the listing says parting out. Message them, oh, I'm selling this car for parts only. You son of a bitch.
I've got an 07. These things are great.
And it was briefing at 15 or 20.
Briefing's at 30.
Oh. I see it now.
Yeah.
That sucks is when I'm looking for the wheelbase now, all the websites are slow.
Yeah.
If you have a chance, we can talk more after the race.
Yeah.
Now I have questions about the wheel.
Sure. As always, I will help you any way I can. Would I do that? No one does. Actually, I don't remember. No. It's Preston. Hi, Preston. Losing apexes. Yes. Hey, Frankie. Frankie William. Paging Frankie William.
It's still above the other chat.
No, he's here.
Oh.
He's here and he's driving. Well, I think we're going to have a small field tonight, folks.
Looks that way.
Alright.
Oh, to do it's the summertime.
What's up?
My shirt is gonna be soaking wet.
How's the vision, Frankie?
It's good.
Yeah. Are you getting more comfortable with that FOV?
I definitely am.
Good. Good. You know, I think if we're gonna only have like a couple people show up tonight, I think I'm just gonna forgo the drivers' meeting because all of you know it. So nothing really changed.
You're welcome.
All right.
That's kind of sad, though.
Yeah, it is kind of sad.
TLDR, don't be an idiot. Qualify, you know, don't be fucking interrupting people's hot laps. All that jazz.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, hey, it's Jay. Hey, Josh.
No, I'm just saying this. I've got to read that.
I'm expecting at least to see you three racing each other. Frankie, Cody, Reagan. I wouldn't be sad if you guys aren't racing each other. You guys are around the same pace.
I will do my best, but I'm so green when it comes to racecraft.
I'll just be following, so I
don't
can
follow
make sure
me.
that there'll be a pace somewhere.
We're just gonna have the three amigos in the back train occasionally passing each other.
Well, I mean, if there's only 8 people, it's not really much of a back train, so, you know.
As they
The
come around and
caboose of
start
the
lapping
eight-mangers.
us.
I think Brian and I were here last time we were at Zandvoort. We were doing an off-season race, and we didn't have a lot of people show up, and I think that was like the goal. We just wanted to see if we could lap the field by the time we were done.
I gotta get some air in this room. Holy hell, it's so hot. Why is it summertime already?
Because it's May.
It needs to go away. It needs to be August already.
Yeah, I agree. I
No,
agree.
wait, no, not August, not August. August is hot. November.
Yeah.
August, it'll be like fucking triple digits. Like, please help me. Benefits of a gaming PC. It's space heater. Downsides of a gaming PC. It's a space heater.
And the sad bit is I had a bunch of tips for you guys on how to negotiate Zandvoort, but it actually requires to have cars on the track for it to be useful. So.
if nothing else, the 8 of us get some good practice in battling.
Yeah. And on your consistency. I mean, Frankie and I have been talking about that for the last day or so.
I'm trying to get more consistent here. I don't know. My breaking points, I know them. They don't click well.
Why?
I think it's just because like I'm so used to seeing like having like boards or a sign, but here I'm using curves, and my brain is just like, look for the curb. You missed the curb, idiot.
There's definitely a corner that I fuck up on a lot.
Which one?
Let me find a turn number.
Yeah, there you go. See, gotcha. So
I'm literally pulling up the map now.
You have 15 choices. Got to pick one of them.
T12, I tend to fuck up.
Why?
It's mostly just figuring out exactly where to place myself at, with the curb.
Okay.
So you got the line, the very second line, third line, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got maybe 50 meters, 100 meters or so between the two to the curb. And it's just getting that fine distance between that line and the curb where I gotta hit my brake.
Why are you making it so complicated?
I don't know. Why am I making it so complicated,
I
David?
don't know why. Why don't you just brake before the curb and not run over the turtle and turn to the right?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
T10 I fuck up. I'm using
I'm
that
like
sign.
T10 I mess up a lot on
Okay.
too.
Why do you mess up T10?
I don't know where to brake, really.
Okay. What do you use?
I know I go into the corner. I can somewhat hit it, and then a lot of times I'll just forget it.
Ah, okay. So forgetting it is a discipline problem. Fucking it up is an accuracy problem. So which one happens more often, discipline or accuracy?
A lot of times I think it's either I forget.
Okay.
It's honestly a combination of both.
Okay. Okay. So trying to keep a simple solution. You only have to turn the wheel 15 times. Why do you forget?
There's not a lot of reference points as well, so I just go in blindly a lot of times braking.
Okay. Do you take a look at a track map? I'm trying to lead you to water here with line of questioning.
There's got to be something there you can reference.
Well, at the end of the day, a track is just a sequence of corners together in a pattern. So you have to put in the effort to create a pattern. Whether it's, something literal like right, left, or you put a complex together like 9/10, the double apex with the tightening at the end. So when you come off the high speed section of 8, you literally go right, tight, right? So you can just break them down into little patterns, and then it's easy to remember. But you've got to have some rhythm, reference, ditty, sequence to actively make yourself remember. Otherwise, you're not doing anything. You're just driving around, kind of hoping you remember what turn's coming up next.
Also, I gotta say, it is absolutely a thrill to see myself going from 10 seconds back to where I'm sitting at now.
Yeah, it's a big improvement.
It's a huge improvement, and it's scary because now I'm with people.
But that's kind of like
Congratulations.
That's kind of like the first big
You're now-
thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Fagan.
I was about to make a joke. I was like, congratulations, you are now qualified for Tuesdays.
No.
Oh, no.
No. You can maybe see the parking lot next to the Tuesday field. But
Yeah, I can now see the parking lot.
But yeah, it's like
I can watch from tailgate.
it's like okay, so every racetrack everywhere, it's just a sequence of turns in a particular sequence. The sequence doesn't change, and the driver's going around and around and around and around. So at some point, the driver has to ask themselves, am I actively trying to memorize the sequence that I'm going through every single time? Or am I just reacting to what is showing up in front of me? And even if you just react, you should kind of be able to remember the reaction sequence, because you do it every minute and 45 seconds, minute and 40 seconds. So we got to get you in the habit of putting that sequence together, like visually in your head. You should be able to do a lap sitting still without driving the car. You should be able to mentally do an entire lap and know where the track goes without driving it.
Minutes to happen.
Okay.
Unless you're going to just do a straight.
I'm probably not even going to do a briefing today. You know,
I think everybody knows what's going on.
Yeah, it's the same.
Debriefing is don't hit what you can see. All right.
Yeah,
have fun.
right. It's our usual group of folks who know, right? So
Don't hit what you
Coming
can
into the
see.
pits.
Oh yeah, this pit entry is murderous.
It's interesting.
well, you know why it's murderous, right?
Ultra high speed and it's very, very, very short.
Well, that, but you know why it's ultra high speed? You're gonna hate the answer.
Go ahead and say. So
You
I
don't slow down beforehand. Everyone tries to jump into the pits at full speed when you have to cross the track in order to get in. So rather than just slowing down in the corner before and taking a tight line and making your way in, they try to go from the race line at full speed across the track into a parking lot. Doesn't make any sense. So you struggle
yeah,
because
that does make
you
sense.
make yourself struggle rather than just saying, hey, you know, cars are gonna, if a car is gonna pass me, it's gonna happen on the exit anyway, and you want to be blending off the racing line anyway, so they can just go. That's gonna happen. You're gonna take a stop, and I don't want to just burn through that stop, so I'm gonna slow down.
Yeah, if you go around 15 and aim for like the middle of the track instead of going far left, the guy behind you will go, well, I'm going to go far left to pass this guy. Well, then you can go in the pits, no problem.
Right.
It's going to set yourself up for it. Exit's the same way, you guys. Be careful coming out of that exit. I know it's your line up to the corner, but the guys that are coming down the straight, be aware. Guys are coming out of the pits, and they're allowed to be there. They don't have to wait for you just because you're coming down at 80 million miles an hour. So be aware of that. Stay behind the white line.
So as much as I hate this track, I do appreciate it being the first race of the season, because it's like, oh hey, we get the much trickier track coming up first, so everybody gets a bit more of a chaotic start. We get a lot of interesting moments stolen from in the later season.
Well, I mean, I think the only reason that Zandvoort is tricky is because it's so narrow, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to... It's hard to pass when everyone's the same pace because you don't have multiple lines you can take and like let the car run wide and do things like that. A lot of the corners tighten, so when you go from a high speed to a increasing or tightening corner, it's hard to do much because the car on the inside has to do so much work in order to get ahead and all that fun stuff. So it can be a little irritating. Like you end up sitting on the bumper of someone for a long time waiting for them to make a mistake or kill themselves.
Yeah, this track is like so narrow, and a lot of the corners just come right up to you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually a pretty interesting learning experience.
You get the benefit of learning how to run in a train. You get the benefit of learning how to run in traffic. You get the benefit of learning how to play patience games with people as you wait them out. Because, you need like I swear, like a 2-second delta to even be worth a damn around here. And even then, like when you're in like sector 2 and 3, all the speed in the world, you can't do anything with it. You're just stuck there. So you need to not run up the back of a car that you're going to run over.
Yeah. Wait, why the hell did I get a Twitch notification? Oh, okay. Bot. Thank you, AI.
Hey, Brian, what did you end up doing to settle the rear of your car?
You wouldn't believe it. I close the brake ducts.
Oh, what?
Well, the thing is, I'm driving around. I got the right pressures, but I'm not really paying attention to the obvious dumb shit. So I'm driving around, then all of a sudden I look, I go, why are my brake pads blue? Like everywhere I go. Like, I mean, they just start to turn green, and then now I'm back on a little bit of the straight coming into turn 15 or 14. And there, my brake ducts are blue. What the hell? So I closed the brake ducts down, reset my pressures, drove around, readjusted that, and that's all it was. Is because my tires were so freaking cold, I just didn't get the right grip. Right?
Yeah.
And it's just that little bit. There's that little, like, that little extra.
Facts.
That temperature makes. Yeah.
Facts.
So now they're running at about almost 90 C. So it's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. They're not. Before they were running at not even 70.
Ugh. Yeah.
So
okay. Sure.
It's terrible.
Car felt nervous every time you tried to make it slide because it was too cold to do anything. Yeah.
And the front end wouldn't grip up, and now I'm just like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
Like, now I have grip. What happened?
Yeah, I hear you.
It's amazing. It's a lot of times I'm looking for so many things, but I'm not looking at the obvious things first.
Yep.
Duh. But
yeah.
there you go. New season.
I feel you.
Especially the rookie car, like the GT3 car, the 296. 2 laps and the tires are up to pressure and up to temperature.
Right.
Right. Because so much downforce. But I'm driving this car around, and it just seems like at least 3.5 laps to get them up to where they should be. Right.
Yep. That's fair. I even feel like that with the non-EVO McLaren. Like the first lap and a half, you're just kind of waiting for tires to warm up. Like I can get a decent lap in, but it doesn't really hook up. And then around lap 3, the car hooks up, and you're like, oh, okay, now we can do some work.
Yeah, exactly. I was a little disappointed. I thought we'd get at least 20 guys today.
Yeah, I thought we'd at least get 15. Yeah, it makes me a little sad.
Oh well.
Yeah.
What you can do? The series guys are here. That's all.
Yeah, that's facts. That's fine. Frankie can see again.
It is good to be back. The good news is, hopefully soon, I'm gonna be starting in a new company in like June. So I'll actually be part-time, and I'll be able to actually come in more.
That's good.
God, I just went out of full-time in this job. It is killing me, physically and mentally.
Paramedic, right?
EMT, close enough though. The same bullshit.
Good time to
I
get
do
that
have one
good strategy set up.
question.
Yeah. What's up? Fagan, go.
So exit on low speed, I tend to have the end become swirly. What am I missing, or what is the minor adjustment?
Is the line worth it?
I'm thinking about.
Is the line worth it, damn? And also where? What turn?
All the turns. They
Okay.
just like as I'm like exiting out. I know it's my foot. It's like just becomes swirly on the exit when I put it on the gas. So I'm thinking more wing just to kind of settle it down, but I'm pretty sure I'm missing a whole point.
I mean, if you're getting exit oversteer, the first question I'm going to ask is how linearly are you applying the throttle and unwinding the wheel? Because if you're jumping to power and you've got even any little bit of lock in, the car's going to want to turn, right? I haven't looked at what your line is, so that's the other bit too. Like if the line's not worth a damn and you've got steering lock in and you're getting to power, the car will also rotate a lot. So I would first probably look at line choice in a lot of places to see if you're being patient enough, right? And if you're getting on the power on the early phase of the corner with the wheel turned in, you're way too early on power and the car's going to snap when it gets to the other side. So
Pepcac issue. Must learn. Okay, got it.
If you're going faster, I would say, oh, let's look at the car, but with 3.5 second gap, it's probably driver choices. It's too bad, man. I wonder if we need to rally more people in the off season or what. I'm gonna go out and tease some people. Give me something to do.
Okay.
So since we have 11 minutes and you've got time, you guys struggling anywhere in particular you want to talk about?
Everywhere, but that's okay.
Got a particular corner type you're struggling with?
The last turn,
Okay.
when going towards the straight, there are times where it will understeer heavily, and I end up going too far left.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, then it's just a me issue in general.
Well, you know, normally that understeers because of line choice again. Right? If you
Yeah.
haven't used enough road and then you try to turn in at a high speed, you pinch the front off and then it won't turn.
Should it be more left than right? Well, yeah, that makes sense. It should be more left, go in later, and then as it's going back out, it'll be fine, right?
Well, it's really more you want to go more up track as you're, you know, in the middle of the two turns, just so that you don't have to turn as much when you actually get to the bottom part of the corner. A lot of people are too tentative on the way in. Remember, they don't use a lot of the road on the way up, and then they end up pinching it when they actually make the last little bit of the right.
Yeah, 8, 9, and 10 doing that loop or that section always it's always a challenge.
Why?
I gotta pull over. I could it seems that I can get that first part of that section, and it seems like I go too deep into the turn,
Mm-hmm.
which then slows me down as I try to snake through around it. I think I'm missing I don't have a fixed brake marker, I guess, for the first portion.
Neither do I. I mean, when I'm going into 9, all I'm trying to do is brake a little before the barrier, or the banner. There's a banner above the track. So I try to get my braking down around there so that I can get the front right over the inside curbing. And then you're basically just floating an outside line all the way to 10.
Okay. So maybe my thinking was probably wrong in trying to have some super sweet break point at the beginning of that versus kind of letting the turn happen.
Well, I mean, part of it is the fact that it's a high-speed corner with a lot of load in the car the whole time. So I just want to get the car slowed down initially for 9 so that I don't have to do a lot of work leading into 10. And a lot of people try to like rush into 9, and there's not a lot of room out there because it tightens and the grass is on the other side. But that over the track barrier is a good place to kind of initially kind of give yourself a reference if you need one. And then as you get more comfortable with braking, you kind of are just getting the car slowed down to get the right side, the front right, in the right place.
I might have my turn numbers wrong. Turn 10 is where the barrier.
No. If you sit on board with me, I'm about to go through it right now. Seven, 8, 8, 9, 10. You know, 8's like a high speed right-hander that you barely have to do anything for. It's almost just straight.
app that counts, that tells you the turn counter name,
Mm.
and it might be off compared to the map that you have in Discord. Because where you called turn 10 was not the same as what I was seeing. Oh yeah, it's way off. I see it now. So the turn coming up is the one I'm struggling with.
Yeah, turn 10 tightens. And so most people brake too late. And then they don't trail long enough, so they don't keep enough weight on the nose. You can't make the turn without weight on the nose of the car. And so I brake before the turn marker on the right-hand side. It's like one of the only places that the reference point can be on the inside. Ugh, that's clumsy. So brake a little early here. Brake a little early here, but lightly, just to keep the weight on the nose. Sloppy.
Oh yeah, thanks. I think I see that go way too wide in the turn. I wanted to
Sure.
making the rest of it a pain in the butt.
Yeah, if you in the middle of the road in turn 10, you're going way too slow, because since turn 9 already is a kind of narrow turn, right? Like it's already a high-speed right-hander. You naturally should be carried out to the far left, so you shouldn't even have room to be able to tighten in if you have the right momentum.
Okay.
And then because you have all that speed now, you have to compensate for that. So now we have to brake early for all that speed and keep the weight on the nose to keep the car turning. Because if you just get on the brakes and get off the brakes, when you get off the brakes, the car won't turn and it'll understeer up the road. So you've got to trail a little to keep the front nose in.
Oh boy. Okay. I might not be doing that today.
That's okay. It takes a while, man. Like, trail braking's hard, and generally that whole braking process is hard because the brake is one of those pedals that coming on and off the brake only shifts weight forward. So the initial application of the brake shoves a bunch of weight forward, and then removing the brake reduces the amount of forward brake, but it's still weight forward. You know, it like rocks the car forward and then slowly kind of lifts the nose, but it doesn't really rock it back. So it's a challenge to get the technique right of going into the corner with enough brake pressure that you can still steer, but not so much that you overload the front, get the car to turn, and then come out of the brake enough that the car rotates without it losing grip and falling away. So it's a tricky corner to get done quickly, because you do need to dynamically have to feel and see all that rotation. So I understand.
Okay. Yep, thanks.
Yeah. You're not the only one that messes it up. Everybody does. Alrighty, folks. You guys know the drill. We've got qualifying in a couple minutes, so I will talk to you after the session's over. Even though we don't have a lot of people, same rules apply. Make sure to be quiet for folks so they can work on their laps. Don't use the in-game chat. If you got questions that you just desperately need to have answered, just hit me up in the DM and I'll answer it for you until we get back to talking again.
Good luck and Godspeed, everyone.
I know there's probably nobody in the stream anyway, but you guys can still hear me because those two mutes are isolated. So. I didn't even check. I can go around and fix it after. I'll do one, don't run this way, and then... I remember that the track went optimal even on Tuesdays at the last minute. So... There's probably something in there. Go down by 4 once we're done. Oh yeah, we'll wait a while. Yeah, the biggest thing is these guys don't ask questions about how to drive. Like, I wrote an article earlier on my blog this week about the where, what, and why questions you need to ask about what you're doing in the car. And these guys never do that. They never ask where they are. They never ask what they're doing. They don't ask why. So they are always just a little lost. And it would help their driving tremendously if they would actually reflect back over it, rather than just driving around for a lap time. Because right now their lap times are a little underwhelming, and there are similar cars in the field that are doing, faster times, but they never ask, like, how did you do that? They just go, oh, so-and-so's faster than me. Oh, well. And that's literally not how any of this works. So until they ask the questions, they'll never get the performance. Yeah, that's the thing that's always the most frustrating, is that people always want to lower the bar so they trip over it. So rather than seeing a faster car as an opportunity to learn how to improve their driving, they just complain. And they go, oh, it's not fair that so-and-so is faster than me. And it's not a matter of fair, it's a matter of technical understanding of knowing what the hell is going on in the car. And if you don't ask, and you don't practice, and you don't look, then of course everything seems unfair. Everything seems unfair if you don't know how anything works. Tire pressure's still too high. Oh, boo. Is it our first day driving? I think it's our first day driving. Yeah, he's gonna be way too slow by the time I get there. Yeah. Yeah. I hear you, Brian. Yeah, one more tire set left. I might go do one more run just cause. Yeah. You know, this is always really good practice for like finding gaps in really slow traffic to not go out with. Because like I sometimes struggle with this. Like you have someone who's 4 or 5 seconds off the pace. When you're on a flyer, you're gonna catch them like ridiculously quickly. The other thing is, these guys aren't on track enough, especially when the track is empty. Like, especially on times like this where you have very low car count, you want to be on the track as much as possible, rubbering up the track as much as possible, just so that you can get good grip. Especially these guys when they're really slow, like a gripped up track and find them a lot of lap time. And if they were just out on it, they would go faster than a guy that's, you know, sitting in the pits. Especially for us, we give them big gaps of time between sessions to make any car changes they need to, so they shouldn't have to worry about not having enough time to make a setup change or whatever else. Sucks. Man, that was 2 tenths. Damn. That sucks. Damn. You guys want a quick tip?
Always.
In times of low car count, stay out on the track as much as possible. You need to grip up the track and have cars running on it, so sitting in the pits is not helping. You are slower than every car not moving. You know? Like, I watched you guys for most of the session, and 5 of you sat in the pits for half the time. The track grip by itself, the track evolution alone, would bump some of you guys up naturally just with the track grip coming up on its own. If you were just doing laps as you were, compared to someone sitting there waiting for, I don't know what they're waiting for. When there's no one on the track, you have a bunch of open air. Use that. I found 2/10 on my last lap, just cause.
I tried to stay out on track, but then my eyes started getting heavy, so I kind of screwed myself up.
Sure. But that's one.
Now I got no choice.
Yep. That's one thing I've noticed with a lot of you guys in general. You guys sit around too much. You're not driving enough.
Hey, I did pretty much all of my fuel for quali, so
What'd you start with on fuel load?
I started with 30.
Why so heavy?
Pretty much the entire session worth of gas.
Why do that? You're making your car making your car unnecessarily heavy for no reason. Trying to qualify, right? Why do we want to sit in a heavy car for absolutely no reason? I don't know.
I'm still new to this.
I ran with 14, 16, 14 at best. That gives me 5 laps to run. If I can't get a lap in 5 laps, what am I doing? Right? So don't overweigh your car. It's just lap time you'll just give it away. You know, and the funny thing is you can just do the calculation. Like on the setup screen where it tells you fuel, where it says, 2.5 a lap or whatever it is, take that number, times it by, I don't know, 5 if you don't want to do the mental math, and then round to the nearest whole number, and that's the amount of fuel you need.
I just use a calculator.
Sure. But either way, like, you can't say I just use a calculator and then go out on 30 liters.
No, I use a calculator and I go out on 30 liters because that's the 20-minute session, but yeah, I'll definitely
that doesn't make
that for next time.
That doesn't make any sense for a qualifying, right? Like for a practice, if you just want to run around, sure. But in qualifying, we're trying to get the car up as high as possible, which means we want the car to be as light as possible. Yeah.
True.
Plus, if you go out right away on low fuel, you can do about 5 laps, come back in, new set of tires, just the same amount of fuel again, and go up. Like Davin was saying, the track is worn in and warmed up. There's more rubber on the track, so the next time you go out, you'll probably be a little faster. So you've got all this time and all this track. Get back out there because you're not going to go faster sitting in the pits. You might as well take advantage of it. Especially nobody's here right now. I mean, if there was like 30 guys on the track, it would be tough to get in a good time after because there's so many cars. But always do it, and that's what I always do. On Tuesdays, my best lap is usually my last lap in.
Yep.
I go back out again, and all of a sudden I'm flying, and you're just like, what the hell just happened?
Yep.
It's because everybody rubbered up the track, and it was great.
Yep. So you wanna get into the habit of practicing like you're gonna race, right? If you have bad habits when there's no pressure, you will have horrible habits when there is pressure.
Makes sense.
Adjust your pressures appropriately, boys and girls. It's 28 degrees with 38 track, so it's going to be a little hotter. Also, make sure you're starting on a fresh set of tires. Sometimes the game will just give you the same old crappy tires, so be aware of that.
Right.
It shouldn't, but sometimes it does.
You guys got 30 seconds. I would, run through the motions, right? Check fuel, check tires, Make sure you've got same set of brakes, all that other good stuff.
Also, remember, guys, patience. 65-minute race, lots of time.
Lots of time.
Just get out there. Let's have some good starter laps.
Alrighty, folks. I'll see you in about an hour. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Oh, I overinflated that tire. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. There's one guy that shows up that like gives me something to do, so I'm appreciative of that. Alright, him asking me that question. It's ridiculous. It's like running with Nitten. It's about just as fast. Yeah. More mildly annoying than anything. He's keeping good pace. So he's keeping it pretty good. Wow. Must have crashed. You know, these kind of runs are kind of ones that you kind of focus on consistency because there's not a lot to do. Not a lot of rookies showed up today, so I'm just focusing on staying as consistent as I can. You just gotta treat all the opponents with respect. Like, even if you qualify and pole by a big margin, you want to always make sure you're treating everybody like they're a threat, racing to the same. Even if you do walk away, you want to keep your mind in the right habit. Alright, well first I catch Tom, and Tom is doing his best. See, this is away from Tom as I am to the guy in T2. That's kind of funny. Oh, hey, Parker's here. Hey, Parker. See if we catch him in a safe place. Oh, jeez. This is at least 3.8 and 1. Oh my god. Jesus. I gotta pay attention because it's really slow. Tom has a habit of not upshifting either. He like hangs on the limiter for a really long time. So you catch him in like these weird spots. If we don't want to go there. He doesn't know where to turn, so I don't want to go with him. That would be silly. You know, he's like on entirely the wrong line, so we don't want to try to go around the outside of that. We'll die. And then he's still close enough to be a danger, so we want to keep our eye on the mirror and make sure that he doesn't murder me because there's a turn in the road. And I lost a fair bit of time to the car behind, kind of in that sitting or waiting around to do nothing position because I waited so long. That's really okay. Anyway, it's 5.7 now, where we were a little bit over 6 before, so it's not ideal. But even reading the MFD, I think P2 has some trouble passing because you see how much longer he's stuck back there. We still got 45 minutes of running around here, so I'm going to try to find a way to keep dead air while I'm just thinking about it without throwing myself in the sand. He's done a 38. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna watch out for that sand trap that ruined my day on Tuesday. A lot of yellow flags are hanging out by themselves. But most of them, you know, kind of ignore the basics. They don't read the track map. And then when you ask them to, they give you a lame excuse of why they can't take 5 minutes to read the track map. They don't memorize the track directions, even though they're happy to drive around it for hours. Which, I mean, I can't make them, but it doesn't help when you're not actively trying to pay attention. Speaking of. I always kind of believe that you always want to stay focused even when you've got a big lead. You know, 6 seconds is a half spin, and he's right there again. So, you know, it doesn't seem like a lot, like when everything's fine, but in racing, everything can go from fine to not fine in like a split second. Starting to get to that wear time. see slowly catching back up again. Back to 6 seconds. And I've been making small mistakes, so. The battles are invisible, even when you can't see the car. Man, he must have really had a bad spin. The Alfazado guy had a sure thing podium going. That's unfortunate. A little bit over halfway there. Honestly, not doing terrible. Especially for a rookie pace. It's not doing bad at all. Into the race, yeah. Oh, yeah, enough. I don't have purple time. It must be die. You know, in times like this where like there's not a huge field, a piece of advice I was always given is it's always you versus the track. So even when you're just running alone, it's good to battle the track, you know? Helps keep your focus. That's fine. Okay. Wendell's coming out of the pit, so I'm going to catch him on pit exit. Wish I'd known that. Wow. To be honest, wish I'd been paying more attention. Just checking. Okay, need to be more to the right. Got it. Good time. Oh, of all times, really? Really, Tom? We don't need to go that slow. We can be on our way. Talk about losing the most possible time for no reason. Like, in a 10-car field, I end up behind the slowest car on the way out. Like, jeez. So now I gotta nail these out laps because I came out with traffic. But of course I did. And if I was die on this track, I wouldn't take tires. And I would cut 5 seconds out of my time since I was 6 seconds. And then try to jump me. There's still a race happening. thing that sucks about having Cody here is that he already pits, so there's not a natural space for him to move. Man, how much traffic can I get myself out into? But the answer is just like yes. I'm gonna pay attention to these guys. Race them both equally. Attention. Oh my god. That was kind of funny. Still lost a lot of time though. I don't really have a ton of time to lose, so. Gotta go, gotta make up time, gotta go. Timer is also misleading because there's no way that that's that far ahead. see. It's frustrating. Cut the time almost in half. Lost a lot of time. That's ridiculous. Hole 2.4, man. That's a fucking joke, down. I'd like to get that gap back. They'll be chasing me with less fuel too. And the battle's still on. Probably just lucky that he decided not to take tires. If I was in his spot, I wouldn't have taken tires and just squatted in front of me. Alright, 20 minutes left. 22. There's Tom again. Hello, Mr. Fresca. Bye, Tom. Hi, my name's Davin. It's my first day. I've never driven anything in my whole entire life. starting to catch me. Yeah, perhaps. Doesn't seem straight away. Well, I said I wanted a race, so guess I got one. A little bit more difficult than the hunted. And he's probably got motivation. So. Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns with this. Don't worry about that for a minute. Let's focus on this. Because he's already dying. Wonderful. Excellent. Say goodbye to that gap. Yeah, I'm gonna lose so much of it sitting behind this. And for once in my life, like, actually help me. Oh, of course not. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? What happened? Oh. Well, he sees blood in the water, right? So. So first your tires running longer, right? So it's gonna have a pace advantage. Not by a lot, but by enough. Well, he's here. Well, here's 8 minutes of this. Excellent. Excellent, 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 excellent. I'm kind of impressed, actually. Annoyed, but impressed. Minutes. Just stay focused. So an opponent has appeared. I haven't had to do this in a little while. How much diving are we planning on doing today? Maybe. By the way, it'll be close. No, that's a dive, man. That's two more, yeah. Wish we were a little slower. Yeah, I can look at least they're two now. Yeah. Yeah, he is. Stay focused here. 9.4. I mean, sure, just dive into me and not actually do anything. Sloppy as hell. Corner decreases and he just drives right in my door. Like... yeah. I mean, it helped run the clock out, though. That was nice. If he hadn't crashed me, I actually probably would have had an extra lap. That actually wasted just the amount of time that we needed. Wow, okay. Well, I mean, I guess that's a happy accident if you're going to get run into. Oh, Jesus. But you could tell that was coming. Like, he did it once on 12, where he tried to make a dive in on 12 when he was so far back it was ridiculous. He tried it again once coming on like the between 9 and 10 before that happened. He tried to scrabble over, and so you're like, well, we're telegraphing now. So on the last lap, that was silly. You should have waited for me to get to 14. I was disabled as hell when I got to 14. I would have been said in that. Those last few laps, he was eating me up in the last 2 turns. I would have been dead. So how'd it go?
It went absolutely amazing. Well, kinda.
Alright.
My pit stop tire pressures. I clicked it the wrong direction. So
Oh
driving on
no!
balloons. I was driving on balloons the whole second stint.
Oh no!
Ah,
I wish I would have known when the final lap was, so you could lap me and I would have been done for.
Well, I
My
kind of got fortunate that I got run into in the last lap because that's what ran the clock out, so I didn't have to do one more. So everybody got a little bit lucky.
Oh, okay.
I went across
I was like,
we went across the line with like 2 seconds left, and then decided to make a move into 10 and got driven into. And I was like, oh, cool, but that also means the clock's gonna run out. So neat.
dang it, because you know I was slowing down.
Yeah.
Oh,
I want to
this
be
is
done.
it.
I want to be done.
Why am I still going?
All right. Well, we don't have very many, so you guys take a minute, go through your replays, see if you got stuff for me. Brian, how'd your race go?
oh, it was good. It just took a while. I just couldn't catch up to you guys. Just 23. Oh, you guys were going as fast as me, so
Yeah.
it's you were 23 in front of me, 23 in front of me. And the funny thing is, I like when you're catching up to him in sector 2. You're catching up to him in sector 3. Or like I kept saying that. I'm there. Well, no fucking way. I'm still 23 seconds.
I'm catching up. Why is this not happening? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. But no, all in all, good race. I hit that sausage in 9. I just touched it.
Oh no.
It spun me out. So that lost me I bet you I lost me 10 seconds at the beginning. Because I passed Wendell.
Yeah.
And then I was going around him there. Okay, now maybe I can catch up to those guys. And then next lap around, I touch it, and then that's it. I spun out, and then had to pass Wendell again, which was fun. Wendell, you here? Or maybe not. Good battle. He was good. It was good. It was like this track is hard to pass on.
Yeah. Facts. I want to give Di.
I'm still here. I was couldn't get off mute.
Oh,
Okay. No, that was good fun, Wendell. I had this track. I'm just like, okay, pass him here. No, don't want to kill him.
yeah.
Well, that area I was complaining about is where I couldn't get it that first time through, and you went right by me because I overshot.
Yeah, you
the
went
turn,
wide.
but-
Yeah.
So after that, then when you got behind me again, I was like, oh wow, I got another chance to stall there.
Yeah.
So I
You
just
did a good
slowed
job.
down. I had to slow down for that turn so I wouldn't overshoot it.
Yeah, you did a good job. So all I did was I'm there. Okay, I'll just wait behind him till he makes a mistake on that same corner. And sure enough, there you go. You went a little wide, and I'm there. Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, I stuck on that turn.
Yeah.
Well, it happens.
I want to give Di props. That guy was fast, man. I pitted a little earlier because Wendell, I caught you when you came out of the pits, and I didn't want to lose time behind you. But then I lost the same amount of time with everybody else who came out of the pits while I was finishing mine. So it kind of equated out to being about the same. And Di ran long, and I still think came back with fresh tires. So he was running me down the last 15 laps. He was almost there. Super close. All right.
That's kind of what I was hoping for. Is you two? I seen your times were close. I'm like, maybe they can start battling, and maybe I can.
I was just able to stay just far enough away, and then when I started noticing I was kind of running out of rear tire a little bit, like I kind of managed the pace as best I could, because otherwise I'd get a lot of oversteer in a lot of places. So, yeah.
Yeah, good fun.
Yeah, man. So, folks, have any, or are we going to have a short night tonight? Ooh.
Yeah, I don't have it.
myself. I
Okay.
don't know which lap it was, but I hit and slid.
Someone got rear-ended on on turn 1. I think it's lap
me.
3. I think it was lap 3, and I'm there. I'm following him, and all of a sudden, bang, bang, I'm there. Well, thanks, guys.
We'll go find it. I'll go look for it.
Yeah.
That was me at the start of, I believe it was lap 3, or maybe it's somewhere around that ballpark.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was 3
I came
or 4.
in. Yeah, I came in behind them. I'm
Minute mark.
thinking,
Left
okay,
way.
I'm gonna break here. I'm like, oh shit, wait. Oh no.
Well, let's take a look.
Judged. Yeah. Send him the, you guys got that timestamp? Send him that.
Oh, yeah, you're dead. Yeah. Oh, you're real dead.
Yep.
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 And you know what you should have done, right?
Were you sharing, or were we just all watching around?
I should have braked earlier.
Oh yeah, that's right. Let me share that. Let me share that for you. Let me share that. My bad.
I was like, oh no, fuck. I should have braked earlier.
Yeah. So I think that the lesson for everyone tonight, even though we have a small field, is you got to practice how you race, right? And something like following a car and braking earlier should be kind of rudimentary, you know, like fundamental. Let's say fundamental is probably a nicer way, right? Because as we're following this car, you know, as we're here, it should be like a screaming alarm bell.
Evan?
Yeah?
You pause on music?
Oh, sure.
Or is that
Oh,
is
no,
that
that's me. That's me. Here, let me...
I mean, I like it.
Yeah, let me run this instead. I'll run it this way. Here, run you the application. Boop, boop. We'll run it like that.
We get to hear Devin's Euro beat.
Yeah, right? Alright. So when you're running right here, this should be just like a screaming sign. I need to do something earlier because there's a car in front of me. Right? And this is a long straight, so you've got plenty of time to plan and set it up, and you don't really need to do very much. So, you know, most of us are braking it before the pit lane line. So we're already dead. Right? There's a car in front of you that's going to be taking up the space that you need to slow down, and that's the space you need to slow down if there's no car. So,
Yep.
you know, like it's fundamental 101, right? Like, what is it? 2.2 meters per second. So you really need to lift. But if you were to even lift while following this car and brake at the same spot, you'd be moving more slowly when you got there, and then you'd be able to manage. Like if you want to be aggressive and stay with them, you can easily do that. But you can't just go from full gas to full brake right behind a car. You're always going to hit it. Let's see. That might be the only one. Yeah, that might be the only one.
I actually might have one as well. Give me just a second.
Sure. But I mean, I think that would be the thing I would recommend for most of you guys. Like, sure, we had a small field, not a lot of people showed up. I don't really care, right? You want to practice like you race so that when the more complicated races happen, you have good habits, right? Make sure you nail pit stops. Make sure you nail setups, pressures. Make sure, you know, you're running all of qualifying. Make sure, like, all those little habits, right? Because they compound into better driving as you pick up more pace. But if you never reinforce those habits, then you just drive badly for a long time, and it doesn't help you.
I have a...
drive into a wall on your own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is one of those races that, frankly, like, no one should have spun. Like, this should have been like I'm under pressure by basically no one. I'm just driving around hot lapping on my own. Like, your goal should just be like, I'll get to the end and be done. Right? Be able to manage your margins.
Give me just a second. I'm getting the exact timestamp.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Nothing to replay.
Yeah.
So every time I was driving, right, and I was behind somebody, I would always end up like coasting for like a good like second, just to roll up on a person, just to keep my distance as well, because I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But it seemed to be effective. Is that like a decent way of driving, or is there more input than that?
Well, I mean, Oh, okay. Oh, well, you go first.
So, the amount of buffer you need depends on the pace that both of you are at. So, a second of coasting, yeah, that sounds quite a lot to me, but that might not be terribly much in rookies. Like, the more predictable the other driver is, and generally faster people are more predictable, because like you can't be fast if you are making random different things every lap. The closer you can also drive to them, and the less of this buffer you need. But yes, if you can stick with the guy while rolling off the throttle a little bit early and softly braking and just matching their pace, then sure. Like, that's how you follow a car. It's just that the better you get and the better they get, the less buffer you need.
But get into the habit of doing it, because that habit helps you information gather with the car that you're following. right? Because as you're following them, you should be like, where are they braking? Where am I braking? How's their line? How's their exit? Like, can I roll up on them on the exit with ease, or am I just barely keeping up with them? Right? That gives you data for, is there a place to pass, or is he inconsistent somewhere, so I need to give more margin because he doesn't know where to brake, or other key pieces of information, right? So when you're following these cars, you should be paying attention to them and be like, what's he doing? Right? Because you need that data to not, first of all, not hit him, but also be able to set something up. That's why I get frustrated when like someone runs into me, because most of the time my driving is pretty consistent and the person behind is just being impatient, right? They're trying to brute force something that will never work, rather than watching where there's a weakness, where my car is going the wrong way or doing something else the wrong way, and waiting for that weakness to show itself. They're just like, I'll just throw it in and change the laws of physics. And I'm like, no, you won't. All right. So observe.
Okay.
Could you find that sign stream, bud?
I did. 1 second. There you go.
Oh, hooray.
And I'll give you a little bit of a write-up as well from my understanding of the incident here.
Okay, so lap 13, 2708. Ooh. There we go. Well, let's just run it and then we'll talk about it. Oh, that person doesn't like you.
Yeah, they didn't really like me.
Hmm. Let's, yeah, so your last bit doesn't quite make sense to me. So you said, I'm a little slow on the entrance, made a mistake on braking, and was already a little fast. I came on the gas too early, and you spun. But you got murdered, so you got spun. Right? This is kind of back to Ilpo's point earlier about paying attention to the car in front of you. So, who's this? It's a Ferrari that hit you. Here we go. Okay. So, this car here sees you approaching. Let's go back here, right? Okay, so this is even easier. So, this car here is coming up down the straightaway, sees you. The fact that we're closing up under braking should be a big sign, right? Oh, I was way far back, and then I got on the brakes, and then I really closed up on him. This person does not know how to enter the corner quickly, because I closed a lot when we're both going the same direction. So it should already be alarm bells that I don't want to be crowding this car on the exit, because he doesn't know how to go in quick. And then, yeah, sure, you missed the apex here, but there's not a clear lane for you to roll through. And remember, we always talk about you don't want to tailgate a slow-moving car unless you have a clear place to go. Because now this car is just going Cody's speed, which doesn't help, right? Because you want to be going by this guy. You don't want to date this guy. So you want to make sure that you're rolling on the power where you can roll by. Like, even if he had said, oh, I'm closing up, I'm going to wait a little bit, let Cody get a little farther through the corner and then get the power, then he's on full power, rolling, versus being stuck here. And then here, we're just trying to brute force our way by now when there's a car in front of you. So, like, you know, you missed your opportunity earlier in the corner to really get any momentum, and now we're just crashing. Crashing.
From Cody's car as well, because I think it's like, I can see why this happens a little bit.
You want to go in or do you want to stay out?
No, the third person is better.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, we missed the apex. But then, yeah, I mean, it's still the car behind's fault. Like, the easiest thing in the world is to not drive into the car ahead when you're on the exit of the corner, because all it takes is just lifting up the throttle. Also, Cody is not actually going wide, like he's not taking the full width of the racing line. And I think the car behind was thinking he's gonna take the full width of the racing line, and that's why it went wrong. But
Right.
still, like,
Yeah.
don't
In my
drive into the
head-
car in front.
In my head, I'm like, okay, he could see me. I'm just gonna kind of try and not run too wide on exit. Try to keep my position. He
Well,
doesn't like me.
so that's a very dangerous idea because on a corner exit, even if you miss the apex, people are going to expect that you take the full width of the exit. Like, you're gonna take the racing line because it's the fastest way to go on the exit. If you're gonna pinch someone just to block them, yeah, it's gonna happen. And it's probably still their fault, but you're gonna be killed, like, many times. So, don't try to cut off someone just to block them, because blocking is generally not what people expect to happen. Just take the full width of, like, if you fuck up the corner entry or the mid corner, you should still aim to be on the optimal racing line on the exit, because that's where everybody else is expecting you to be. That's purely like self-preservation kind of thing.
Yeah, it's tough if you don't accelerate in an acceleration zone, right? Like, especially in a short especially in a short section between two corners. If I'm following you out of turn one, like, yeah, I got to pay attention and not run you over, but I am going to assume that you're going to be at least at full throttle. And so if you're not at full throttle, then when I go to full throttle, I'm going to be like, whoa, right? And I don't know if you're going to do that again. So, yeah, Elpo's right there. Anyone else?
That was a really nice pass on turn in lap 2, Brian.
I was looking for a clip because I was coming up behind someone, and I remember doing this. They kind of freaked out and crashed.
Hmm.
And we have like I can't remember. I couldn't figure out when it happened or who it was, but you have any advice for that?
Freebie.
Yeah, take the candy and run away. Like, they crashed?
No. Yeah, they crashed. Not for me.
Oh, good.
I took off.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Well,
like,
for that other guy, the advice is exactly the same thing that we were discussing in another Discord today, which is that you can only drive your own car. It doesn't matter if the guy behind is the ghost of fucking Ayrton Senna, he's still behind you. All you need to do is drive your own fucking car. Like, don't crash just because someone faster than you is behind you. That's silly.
it's not wrong. I mean, Cody, it happened to you while we were coming out on one lap. I was coming out of 5, and I was just kind of sitting there. And, like, yeah, you missed the corner and everything, but I just kind of put my nose in the space. And then you drove off the road, and I was like, I didn't do anything to you.
Yeah, what happened, I think I was kind of just in my mirror, as you say, don't drive in your mirror, and I broke that rule.
Yep. You know, I used to have this note on the Rookie Ferrari, and I might put it on the other cars. But on the front of the Rookie Ferrari, it says, no mirror watching. Right? And there's a reason why it says that. Because y'all keep watching your mirrors. And it's silly. Right? It says it right here. Stop mirror watching. Right? You need to look forward. Alright? You can't drive my car.
Davin, I think that was the opposite effect that sign happened, because a lot of the blue flags I caught up to, not a lot of them, some of the guys, I catch up to them and I'm coming fast, they just drove off the track, just like they were saying there, and it's like they're panicking, and my advice to them is, you guys, just do your race, follow the racing line, don't worry about if you get blue flag, doesn't mean you have to dive out of my way or anybody else's way, just stay on the racing line. When there's an opportunity to slow down, then you do it.
Yep.
But until then, just do your race. Don't ignore the guy behind you.
The best piece of advice I got around this was, you've driven all the way around the racetrack to catch this person. They don't need your help.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? Like, I'm fine. I know where I'm going. If you would just stay in one place, sir, I'll take care of it. Thanks. Right? And a lot of times you guys panic. Like, we're not even racing each other. Right? If you're a lap down, like, your race was over 25 minutes ago. So just hang out. Let us run by. Even if we're in a train of 3 or 4 and it seems like this intense battle, like, it's up to us to be able to manage through that. And so, honest to God, like, when I'm coming in a battle, the only thing I'm hoping is that you'll just stay where you are. Because then I can, get us by safely, but I can also manipulate the situation to my advantage better because you're staying in a predictable place. You know, I can use you as a pick or I can move you around. But if you're diving and weaving and getting all out of shape, if you crash or spin, then you've just taken this all out. I can't avoid you because you don't have control of your car anymore. So don't drive my car. Drive your car. Ooh, Frankie's got one. Okay, okie dokie. Lap 2.
Nice livery.
85. Yeah, this is one of
It's not
Randy's.
bad. This is a good. This is a good thing. I mean, Brian shut me down.
Rude.
Took that clean. He took it clean.
Okay. 85.
Nah, Frankie, you did a good job, man.
Ooh, this
Just,
look.
you just kept driving.
Well,
and then you gave me an opportunity when it was there.
Yeah, and I broke too late. That's what I did.
Was there a time where you did something wrong?
Oh yeah, went up track. Yeah.
He sneaks in. I'm thinking, well, if I can hang beside him, I can get him on the next turn to the left. And he's like, no.
Yeah, but you know, this is where this gets risky, right? Because
Yeah, and admittedly, it is risky.
yeah, the G-force is
I
gonna.
mean, also, I don't think he really had any overlap on the turn-in, so you are kind of trusting Brian to be nice about it and not just turn. Which is, I mean, it's Brian.
Well, I mean, there's some people I trust.
Yes, but like, still, if you went wide and hit Brian, there's no question who's at fault. So,
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily recommend trying that. Like, it's such a short braking, like it's really just like a dab on the brakes and then turn. So trying to dive into the gap when you have no overlap to begin with is extremely dangerous. The longer the braking zone, the better your chances at actually making a dive is, because obviously like there's more time for the other guy to realize, oh, someone's going on my inside.
One thing I will say, Frankie, and this is just something to keep in mind as your skill gets better. One thing you can do once your skill gets up is like if you miss the corner like this or get past, is you pressure the guy in front with the intent of braking earlier every single place. So you're just filling his mirrors as much as possible so that he has to focus 100% of his attention ahead, right? So you miss the corner, great. Tuck in right behind him and then run with him as aggressively as possible. And then lift early everywhere so that you don't die, right? All you're doing is going ooga booga booga booga, ooga booga booga booga, ooga booga boo, right? And as they're rushing to try to get away because now you're just all over them, there's a bitter likelihood they're going to make a mistake, right? And at the same time, you're not putting your car at risk. So if you're running through the section and you're like, Brian, and he misses the brake or he runs over the curb, then he's all yours, right? But you don't want to leave yourself vulnerable for him to kill you on accident, even if you didn't mean to. So.
Of course, still the best advice is don't miss the brake.
yeah, slow down and don't miss the turn.
Yeah, that's right.
Really, like, instead of, and this is again something that I was writing to another person, roughly similar pace, who was complaining about his problems with like the mental aspect of racing and getting overpressured by himself when he's in a position he doesn't feel like he belongs to, and then making mistakes. Is that the best defense you have is to not make any mistakes. Like, if you drive just slightly below your best possible race pace, and you never make a mistake, the guy behind it's a massive pace difference. Like, half a second is not nearly enough to make the move happen.
Not here.
You never miss an apex. It's really hard to overtake someone who is just a little bit slower, like half a second or 6/10 or whatever. Unless they make a mistake. If they make a mistake, they make it super easy. So I had a guy reach out for some like defense practice, and it turned out that instead of needing to learn how to defend, all he needed to learn was to not get pressured when someone is right on the bumper. Like 8 out of 10 times I overtook him in that practice was because he made a massive mistake and missed the corner completely, or just like did something completely silly. And if he had just driven at his own pace, without mistakes, sure, I would have overtaken him eventually, but it would have taken a massive amount of effort to do.
Right.
So, the best defense is not to make mistakes.
Yep. I mean, most of the time, honestly, you guys defend too early. So it's like, I'm a second away, so far away in race terms, and you're already getting off the racing line. And I'm like, well, shit, your line is going to be shitty on the entry in the next turn, so that second's going to be closer now, right? Or you miss the turn entirely, and so you're just driving badly no matter what happens, right? And so in both cases, like, if I'm not next to you, like side by side going into a turn, I'm literally just waiting for you to fuck up. That's all I'm doing, right? If I can't negotiate my space next to you to cancel out some of your lines, I'm just waiting for you to miss the turn. Which is all that it is. So to Ilpo's point, if you slow down and don't miss the turn, even if I come in as a rocket ship, I can't do anything with it. I'm just like, right? And on a track like this track, it's even harder, right? Because there's no runoff, there's no place for me to really like overrun or, you know, run a big bold outside line and just take the cut and move on, right? So you're just stuck.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah. But car placement, I mean, that's most of, like, even with the guys I was lapping driving around, you know, I think I wrote an article about this earlier this week. You know, you guys don't ask, what am I doing? Where am I doing it? And why am I doing it? Right? You're just driving around kind of hoping that you'll luck into a good lap time. And so you guys will miss turns by like a huge margin and never go back and fix it. You'll just miss the turn and then you return to the garage. I yelled at Frankie about that for like 2 hours yesterday. Right? Where he would go into a turn and then make the turn, and there's a giant amount of pavement next to his car by the turn, and he would just go, okay, and just go right back to the pits and not look at it. And I was like, well, how do you just, what? Right? And so you gotta look and, you know, reflect over the things you're doing so that you can make a change for the next time. You can't just be like, oh, that sucks, and then have no plan, because you literally drive just as crappy again. All right. So I think that's a big thing for most of you guys. Like, you guys have heard me say this for some of you almost years. If you are multiple seconds off the pace of the leaders, ask for help. If you're more than 2, you're in the wrong place on the racetrack, like a significantly wrong place on the racetrack. You're missing a turn or several turns by a significant amount of space, or you're not like carrying enough speed in, or you're not staying on the throttle for long. Like, there's such big, easy, obvious outliers when you're at that pace that Brian, me, Ilpo, Matt, Michael, Joris, the list goes on and on, Arjun, on and on and on, would look for 2 seconds and be like, oh yeah, be to the left. You know, Frankie's was full throttle. For a little while, he was doing laps at like 3/4 throttle. I swear to God. Right? He's like, I don't know why I'm going so slow. I do. You're using 75% throttle for the whole lap. That's put the foot all the way down. Right? And then once your time came. So ask for help, guys. Ask for help. Like, especially in rookies. Like, this is the class to do it. When you're really, really slow, please ask for help. Like, I'm just sitting watching you waiting.
During the day, I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not a time I've been in here where, you know, if I needed help, there wasn't somebody who could help.
Mm-hmm. So ask.
And I can also attest, the help actually helps. You guys here are amazing. Because I came from like 15 seconds back to running 4 seconds back now.
Yeah.
In, what, a year?
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing that's happening. Yes, that's true. Mm-hmm. So that's the other thing I would, you know, forget the fact that not a lot of people showed up. I would like everybody to go back and reflect on their own driving and say, what are the questions I'm not asking and why am I not asking them? And if you don't know what to ask, why am I not asking someone, what should I be asking? Right? Because if you don't know, somebody else around here definitely does know. And we're happy to help you. But, you know, it happened today earlier in practice. I asked somebody if they knew the direction of the track and the track map, and I got a shrug of the shoulder. And I was like, oh, well, that person will never figure out how to drive through that turn ever. Because they're not checking and they're not asking. So, good luck. Like, I can't help you. You won't let yourself get help. So, oh well. Too bad. right. Brian, you got anything?
No, the only thing I've got to add is, hey, you guys, Donington's coming up. I'll be there. Davin will be there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll all be there. If you want help, just ask, man. Don't be afraid, because it just takes me. I'm there to help everybody,
Yep.
and I don't mind stopping what I'm doing and giving you a hand. Same
Yeah.
with Davin.
We're not gonna bite your hand off. Everyone probably has a different way
You
of.
do well.
Yeah, and everyone's probably got a different approach, but we're all trying to help you, right? So.
Well, I'd watch out for Larry when he gets hungry. He might take a nibble.
Look, man, the only thing that gets under my skin is when people don't actively at least try to follow the advice given, right? Because then we're just wasting our time. That's not fun for me. But I'm happy to help. I'm happy to show you a resource. I'm happy to drive a lap. I mean, hell, Frankie, I drove Frankie's cars for freaking hours. Where I was like, I'll jump in whatever car he was in, and I'd never driven it. And I was like, whatever. And I did a lap, and I was like, here's an okay lap that will help you a ton because it's 6 seconds faster than what you were doing. So here you go, right? And then we just decided that he should just never get out of the McLaren, and he's just stuck there forever now. So that's good. But we're here to help you. It's not like we don't like driving. Anywho, alrighty, folks. Good race tonight.
Yeah, agreed.
Indeed.
Yeah,
it was a
man.
good time.
Yeah, man. Hey, go call the other rookies and get them to get their ass back out to practice. Go do that. I don't know why. First of all, we only had 10 people, and I don't know why we only have like 20 people on the roster. But go poke some people and have them freaking show up. I know there are other drivers who need help. Go find them. Go find them and bring them back. That's your
I
homework.
have the white van ready. Don't
Yes.
worry.
Yes, throw them in the back and bring them, right?
Wait, is it free candy?
That's funny.
And ice cream.
And ice cream.
I mean, there
Oh,
were
yeah.
10 people in the race, and there were 8 people signed out, so there are 6 people that are AWOL.
Right. Right. And there's still like 24 spots open, which I get it. It's summer and we don't have a lot of turn, but that also means we have a lot of open space. Like normally it's the opposite. Normally we are like overflowed and I have to put people on a wait list. So this is a good time for people to get help if they want it. So poke your friends, make them show up. Alrighty, buddies. I'm going to bed. I'll catch you around.
Wait, I had a question.
Oh, what's up?
Go ahead.
The Moza. Well,
Oh.
you have to go. We'll
Yeah,
talk later.
just DM me. I'll take care of it.